Alright, hi, give us your name.
I'm Nicholas Slade.
Nicholas Slade?
Yes.
Alright, cool. So, what's your whole deal? What's your whole vibe, if you will?
I guess I'm kind of like, I'm a digital artist.
Yeah.
But, I'm also an art director for, I'm an art director intern right now. You know, maybe when this get posted, so I'm like an actual get the job. But,
yeah.
So I do a lot of work in advertising.
Yeah.
And not like the lame stuff, like stuff that actually makes shit happen, like Afrofuture and stuff downtown.
Yeah.
Things like that, basically experiences for people to have.
Yeah.
But I'm also trying to focus on like making events and like products and so on and so forth for the Black community, because you know we need more of that anyway.
So like, would you say like this is the pinnacle of like what you always wanted to do, being like an art director, or you're kind of like, all right, we're at where you're at?
Yeah, I'd say this is probably where I've thought about this recently. I think this is where I want to be at. I was originally a neuroscientist. I did like a lot of research jobs and stuff. I got like a degree in neuroscience, like zoology, so on and so forth.
Right.
But when I actually got there, I was like, this kind of sucks ass. let me do what I always liked, which was drawing.
Right.
But so I turned that my hobby of drawing and art into an actual job.
Right. Yeah. So would you say your parents are proud?
Yeah, I think they're very proud. Like, I know some parents think just because you go into art, you're not gonna like live,
right?
Or you be able to eat. But it's like my parents have always been supportive of me since day one. Even when I was in science, they were kind of surprised that I decided to leave it. But I overall think I made the better decision, because there's so many subsections to art. It's not just drawing. It's not just selling pictures and whatnot. It's like art direction, it's TV, it's movies, it's like things you see is this building, like it's all types of stuff.
Why is having Michigan-made collections important to you in the store?
So one of the big aspects that I've noticed about the business is that we've just naturally grown a community regarding like physical media, but also filmmakers and just film buffs as well. And when you're a big believer in something, you also want to like get your hands wet and like create. So there's a lot of local people who've like made movies or short films and all this other stuff. But there's no central hub really in Michigan or in most states to actually find these locally made stuff. You're always like, oh cool, that was made locally, and you love to brag about that. But there's no place you can actually go to really like find like this is locally made. And so it's just like in our little way, we're like built up a small library that's slowly growing of stuff that's just that, so you can't have a spot to find stuff that's locally made. It's just like, it makes you more proud, but also inspires you more that you can do it also.
100%. How does owning the shop inspire you in your own creativity?
Yeah, so historically speaking, I did come from theater. I was a theater kid growing up, and then I like went to college for it. I lived in Chicago for a few years, and then moved back to Detroit, all working in theater, also in and out of like sex education and a lot of like pleasure-based and like toy-based education stuff as well. And so this has also just been in my family and like through blood throughout my whole life. And so when I left theater, because my dad wants to slowly retire and wanted me to like start taking over the businesses and stuff, it also is like I have this whole like creativity edge to me, but it also is like wanting to support art as well as just like people's own self-discovery process, and all of that kind of fits into the business and the ethos and the vibe that we create here.
Yeah.
I know that's a lot of vague and fancy words, but
no, that was all encompassing. That
Yeah.
makes sense. I saw an interview you did a while ago, I think with MLive, where you were saying, like, please just wait to close the store until I'm out of high school.
oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, like how. Yeah, and then you went into theater.
Yeah,
like these are two kind of diametric ideas,
Yeah.
theater and business.
Yeah.
How did both of those live inside of you?
So, I think it kind of comes down to like the cultural identity and that I've grown up with. I am Chaldean, and a lot of like Chaldeans are known for like having their businesses. They always have all the liquor stores. Now they have all the marijuana stores and things like that. It's just like culturally speaking, as a people, we are always been very like business owner oriented, because even like back home historically in Iraq, it's like a lot of Chaldeans had to start their own businesses because other cultures wouldn't hire them to work for them as often, and they were the only ones allowed to sell liquor religiously, and so they started owning liquor stores back home. They brought that to Detroit, culturally speaking, in the 70s, every liquor store in Detroit was owned by Chaldeans back in the day. And a lot of that has just been like immigrant small business mindset, just been very much what I've experienced my whole life. And so it's like, it always just makes sense to like start your own thing and run it yourself. No, you could debate, I didn't really start my own thing. It is from my family, and I cannot thank them enough for like believing in my weird vision to keep the store running and doing this whole change.
I mean, I'm sure you put your own touch to it. How do you think?
100%.
Yeah, like what are some touches?
Yeah,
And
all of the commitment to branding, the whole brand and idea of the store itself, where it's like the last video rental in Michigan, but also the best fetish store in the Midwest. That's crazy. Where have you heard of that before? But also the shower thought of like, wait, everything fits under cult media though, because cult movies are retro by keeping physical media alive. They're scary with our commitment to like horror movie merch, and they're also kinky with all of the like very fetishy things. And a lot of people's first little like kinky discoveries were through random cult movies. I have a good friend whose like discovery of their love for bondage was through Clive Barker's Hellraiser. And it's like these little like through lines throughout cinema and media have also affected us all deeply.
That really makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna pause while I'm thinking.
Hold on.
How is it different walking through aisles to find your Friday night movie versus scrolling on your TV?
So let's be real. How long do you spend scrolling on Netflix? You can go like 30 minutes, an hour. Maybe that's your whole night. You just scrolled until you found something. Maybe added a few things to your list. You didn't watch them because you're not in the mood to watch that now. While walking through literal physical aisles of movies, it is so much easier. You just watch people all the time being like, oh, I haven't seen this in years. Oh, have you seen this movie? It's so great. Or what's this weird cover? There's a movie that me and my partner watched about a week ago or so, strictly because I saw it in the store while walking, be like, what the fuck is this weird cover? Looked at the back and I'm like, why is this a weird mixed media thing of a movie no one has talked about or heard of in the 90s? Okay, I'll watch it. It was really bad. But it's like, no one I know has ever heard of this movie, and you could bet your ass that I told about 5 other people about this weird experience I had. And it's just like finding things that's so much easier and way more organic than just the like what has been algorithmically pushed to you.
Yes, 100%. I just also feel like the algorithms are not, at least for my Hulu and Netflix, are not tailored to me. They're like, hey, you general audience, this is something you might like. Mean Girls again.
They're based off what they assume you want, but then what I feel like a lot of people like nowadays is they like jumping to different genres. They like discovering things they haven't seen before, but being fed things you have kind of been fed before is never going to do that.
Yeah, very true, very true. On the niche to normie range, where do the DVDs here lie? Everywhere?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Truly everywhere. We get all the new release movies. We also go out of our way to bring back old cult movies. Like, most recently, one of my employees just brought in a 80s era movie that's all puppets, but they're all horror. It's a horror movie filmed strictly with puppets.
That's insane.
And that's like very niche, eclectic taste. But then we also got the newest Mission Impossible.
Gotta. Yeah. You're here for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. What's your I'm sure it's vast. What's your curation project or process for some of these older movies like?
Usually just the good old way of word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It's someone has said this to us. You saw it through someone's social media. Someone brought this up. It's almost always someone brought this up, and we looked into it and like, why don't we have this? And that's how it works.
Yeah.